Hello everybody, Anthony from SteamFirst.com here, and today I want to talk about a game called Insurgency. This is another game that I got from the owner of the site to do a review on, and here it is. So Insurgency, the best way to put it is this is a first-person shooter, more specifically a co-operative, tactical, teamwork-oriented tactical first-person shooter. The game costs $20 on Steam, and you might want to know what you're in for before you decide to drop those kind of shekels on this game. So if you're used to the games like Call of Duty Ghost or Battlefield 4, or even some of the older ones like even things around the time Call of Duty 3 came out, this game's gonna seem pretty subpar to say the least. First I want to talk about the UI. Better put, the lack of. You don't even get crosshairs or an ammo counter, or you don't know who's friendly or who's a foe. You pretty much just need to rely on having a teamwork-oriented mindset and pretty good reflexes. You have to pay really, really close attention to the actions of the players around you, and you never survive more than about 3 direct hits, which is the problem I had with Rust, where your character had the durability of a 3-year-old. So that in mind might be the developers' way of making the game more immersive, but it's a pretty bad attempt at it, because I know in real life you're not going to know who's friendly and who's not. You're not going to know exactly how much ammo you have. Well, you do. And you're not going to... Yeah. But the point is, in video games, I like to have the luxury of just knowing these things. Like, I want to know, like, for instance, how much ammo I'm carrying, how many magazines I'm carrying, and, what I have to work with, pretty much. So when it doesn't actually let me have that luxury, it's pretty weird. I would just like to have some crosshairs and be able to know how many bullets are left in my magazine. Now, granted, it does tell you how many magazines you are holding. It just doesn't tell you how many rounds are included in said magazine. So I don't know. Another minor issue I have is the aiming. I would like the aiming to be fine-tuned just a little bit. Although, again, it could just be a bit too far into the whole immersion of the game. Which, if that's what they were going for, then hats off to you. And then back to my notes. There are some actual, like, neat things that they do. Again, back to the whole, like, immersion. Is, the game isn't like, the teams aren't set up like in TF2, for example, where you could have 2 heavies who are just pushing for the team, who are just carrying the team over, and then the rest of the team medics who are just healing the heavies to help them win or whatever. You're not going to see more than 2 of each class on each team, which is nice because, again, it gives more of like a diversity to the game. So there's not going to be like 4 snipers and then a bunch of scouts and then a bunch of sharpshooters. It's nice in that aspect, which I like. Now, the biggest problem I have are the graphics, and this is a problem that a lot of people who are used to playing most games are gonna have. So yeah, that is the one thing that's been irking me. Is first of all, just a quick fun fact: this game was built originally as a Half-Life 2 mod, which means that it is built on a really ancient source engine, which is pretty obvious. They've done hardly anything to hide the fact that this was an old Half-Life 2 mod, because the maps and the scenery and just environments in general just seem really blah. It's not the best. It's just a big kick in the nuts to the game, which is not good. It also, like, God forbid you do anything in the background. This computer that I'm using was built to play games like this and record at the same time, and then be able to edit it out and render it like no problem. But this game just did a number on my CPU and my GPU for that matter. It seems to be locked at around 20 FPS for me, and I tried playing on different settings at different resolutions. I had different settings: full screen, windowed, borderless, and yeah. And every time I would tab out to check my audio levels or to check a Skype message or any reason I might have to tab out, excuse me, it crashed. Everything crashed on me. I had to go into my task manager and close out Audition and Fraps and Insurgency, and that all just adds up to be pretty annoying. Now, this game is still in early development, so just like Rust, it is going to have some kinks to work out, and you can't ever compare an indie game that's in early access to a game like Call of Duty. That's like trying to compare I don't know, Gary's Mod to World of Warcraft. Yeah, World of Warcraft isn't that impressive. That's like trying to compare this game to Call of Duty. It's impossible, because a game built by a vast team of people where they have dedicated groups to work on each thing and have resources readily available that most indie studios can't even dream of. But yeah, just like Rust, it's an early access, and some of the issues I have are the same issues I had with Rust. Except in Rust, the environment was a lot more pristine and pleasant to look at. Some of the minor details they added, I'm saying the minor details they added, that they included, not the way they pull them off. The execution of said details reflect back on the poor graphics because of the aging engine or whatever. But the things that they added, like the litter debris on the floor, the cracked sidewalks, the half blown up tanks on the sidewalk, the sandbags, just some of the stuff they've done are just nice, a nice little aesthetic addition to the game, which I enjoy. The overall immersion, like I was talking about earlier, is great. It reminds me of just every other military scenario that took place in a first-person tactical shooter, so that's good. Put very briefly, I don't want this video to be that long. I just want to get everything I wanted to say out of the way and make it no less than 20 minutes. Less than 20 minutes if I can help it. This game is just like Rust. One of those cases where it's an early access game with tons of problems that is just nothing good about it. But it's really immersive and worth the money as long as you can deal with some of the issues it has. Now, me personally, I don't care. I don't play these games, but if I were to play this game, I don't care about the graphical issues. I don't care about the blind environments. All I care about is just being able to have a team and pushing on towards the objective. That's all that matters in these games. And quite frankly, as long as combat works, you don't really need the rest of the game, unless it's story based. You don't need the rest of the game to justify that. You know what I mean? If it's a story-based game, you need the story to reflect that the story is the second most important thing next to the game actually working. But as far as I'm concerned, the mechanics work just like in Rust. I'd say it's worth $20. I think it's almost $14 right now on Steam because of the early access. If you could deal with the issues, some of the major graphical issues, if you can deal with only spawning in once per round, which is pretty understandable. And if you want a more, methodical, type more teamworky oriented multiplayer first-person shooter than, Call of Duty, then you're good. If not, you best stick to them polished shooters, unless you want to, not do that, then you can. Other than that, I'd say the game is pretty good. Yeah, these are all my issues with the game and the stuff I'm talking about. There aren't many good things to say, but not that this is like a bad review, because again, I am recommending the game. It's worth it. I do still stand by my opinion of never buying into early access. You always wait until the game releases, because there's no reason to pay for an unfinished product. That's just like me going to the Levi's store and saying, "Oi, Let me have that half pair of pants. I demand this half pair of pants. I know you guys are probably going to patch it in the future. I want this half pair of pants. And then you come in with a half pair of pants that doesn't work right. So I don't know. I don't wear Levi's. I hate jeans. That was just an example. But for $20, you can't go wrong. The link to the game will be in the description. Of course, my name is Anthony here at SteamFirst.com. Be sure to check out SteamFirst.com for the best news, reviews, videos, and content revolving around all things Valve and Steam. And if you like this video, perhaps you like some of my others. In the description, you'll be able to find my YouTube channel, Twitch.tv channel, my live stream, and my website. If you feel like checking me out some more. This has been Insurgency. My name is Anthony. Thanks again for watching, guys, and goodbye.